Most people picture Supergirl as an exact mirror of her cousin, a smiling beacon of hope flying over a sunny metropolis. But the reality of the new DC universe gives us a traumatized survivor stumbling through alien dive bars. Kara Zor-El arrived on Earth only after living through the brutal destruction of Krypton and surviving on a floating fragment called Argo City. By the time she finally meets Clark Kent, their perspectives clash immediately. Clark looks at Earth and sees a pristine world that needs his protection. Kara looks at the exact same planet and feels nothing but alienation. The deep trauma she carries prevents her from accepting Earth as her true home. Looking at this diagram, we see how Earth's metaphorical gravity affects them differently. For Superman, responsibility pulls him inward, grounding him. But for Kara, the expectation to be a flawless symbol of hope acts as a massive repulsive force, pushing her away from the planet. She doesn't launch into the stars to go on a heroic patrol. She leaves because staying in Superman's shadow feels suffocating, and running away is her only act of self-preservation. Her escape route is highly specific. She actively charts a course toward barren, desolate planets that orbit a red sun. Under a yellow sun like Earth's, Kryptonian cells absorb radiation to grant godlike powers. A red sun strips this away, reverting her biology to that of a fragile mortal. She intentionally seeks out this vulnerability for one tragic reason. On normal Earth, her invincible liver means she cannot get drunk. She travels light years to find a place where she can lose her powers, party, and finally numb the grief of losing her entire world. Bringing this gritty, deeply flawed survivor to live action falls to Millie Alcock. Her performance grounds the character, giving us a protagonist who carries a tough, street-level realism rather than a pristine superhero gloss. Her early time in space is an extended exercise in avoidance. She treats the vast, neon-lit cosmos as a string of dive bars, rubbing shoulders with rough mercenaries like Lobo, just to lose herself in the chaos. This cycle of self-destruction might have lasted forever, but a sudden crisis forcefully yanks her back into reality. Her internal urge to flee is replaced by a sharp, external need to hunt. The catalyst is a ruthless mercenary known as Krem of the Yellow Hills, a violent antagonist who leaves a trail of devastation in his wake. Krem crosses two unforgivable lines. First, he murders the parents of a young girl named Ruthie. Then, he turns his cruelty on Kara, fatally poisoning her beloved companion, Krypto the Superdog. Krem possesses the only known antidote for the poison. This shift in stakes ends Kara's aimless wandering, forcing her into a highly motivated, ticking clock mission to save her dog. Watching Krypto slowly die is the violent anchor that snaps her out of her stupor. Escapism is no longer an option when you have a tangible target to track down. Kara forms an alliance with the orphaned, vengeance-seeking Ruthie. The solo runaway is now part of a duo, bound together by a mutual manhunt. Their pursuit turns frantic. They tear out of atmospheres and jump across the galaxy, hopping from world to world in pursuit of Krem. The narrative strips away complex, world-ending stakes. It operates like a classic Western revenge story, an episodic bounty hunt where each planet offers a new, isolated obstacle in a linear pursuit. Director Craig Gillespie engineered this tonal shift. He steers the movie away from a standard superhero epic, leaning into a chaotic, non-linear cosmic road trip. Kara's travel has completely inverted. She is done running away from Earth's expectations. She is actively sprinting towards survival and vengeance. To understand why this grueling bounty hunt matters, we have to look at the larger architecture of the new DCU. James Gunn is building a universe that has room for both bright ideals and harsh, dusty realities. By navigating the chaotic underbelly of the universe alongside figures like Lobo, Kara develops a darker, pragmatic morality. She learns to operate in the gray areas that a typical hero would rigidly avoid. This chart maps the divide. While they have a shared Kryptonian biology right in the middle, their moral compasses sit entirely separated. Superman stands as the immovable ideal, and Kara's journey proves she will never mirror that expectation. Supergirl travels the galaxy first to escape her trauma, and second to fight for the life of her closest companion. Through the dust and the neon lights, she carves out her own distinct identity. She is a fierce, capable warrior, defined by the harsh universe she refuses to let break her.